In our last lesson, we multiplied binomial expressions to get a polynomial. Today we're going to factor a polynomial. X squared plus 4x minus 12 will be our first example. And we're going to get two binomial expressions that are the factors of our polynomial. Our first step is going to be to look at the first term of the polynomial, in this case x squared. X squared can only have two factors, x and x. So we know that each of the binomials is going to start with an x. We don't yet know the signs, we don't know the numbers, but we know that they each start with x. We don't know the operations. Next, we are going to look at the sign in front of the constant. If the sign in front of the constant is positive, then we know that the two operations in the binomials are the same. If the sign in front of the constant is negative, then we know that we're going to have one that's subtraction and one that's positive, one that's addition. Since our constant is negative, we know that one of our factors will be positive or addition and the other will be negative subtraction. X minus blank and x plus blank. To find the numbers that make up our factors, we're actually going to have to look at both the second term, the coefficient of the second term, and our constant. Our coefficient of our second term is 4, our constant is negative 12. We need two factors for negative 12 that add up to 4. Two numbers that multiply into negative 12 and add up to 4. Negative 12 has 6 sets of factors. Negative 1 times 12 is negative 12, and negative 12 times 1 is negative 12. Negative 2 times 6 and 2 times negative 6 is negative 12. Negative 3 times 4 and 3 times negative 4. All 6 of those are negative 12. However, only 6 and negative 2 add up to 4. 6 minus 2 is 4, which is our coefficient of our middle term. Therefore, our factored form is going to be x plus 6, positive 6, times x minus 2, the negative 2 there. But what happens if we don't have an implied 1 on our first term? So for our second example, we're going to do 2x squared minus 7x plus 5. Notice that instead of x squared, we have 2x squared. So we still have to find two factors that will give us 2x squared. Because 2 is prime, the only two factors of 2x squared are 2x and x. Therefore, our factored form will have to be 2x blank blank and x blank blank. Again, we're going to look at our constant to figure out our operations. Our constant is positive, so it can either be adding or subtracting. So we're going to look at our middle term. Here our middle term is negative 7x. So we know we're going to be subtracting. Our factored form will be 2x minus blank times x minus blank. So since our constant is a prime number, in this case 5, there are only two options for our factored form. We have 1 and 5 in some order. It could be 2x minus 1 times x minus 5, or 2x minus 5 times x minus 1. We have to figure out which of those two, when we multiply it out, will equal negative 7x in the middle. Because we know that we'll have 2x squared and we know that we'll have 5. So we need 2x to be multiplied by negative 1, which would give us negative 2x, and x to be multiplied by negative 5, which would give us negative 5x. Negative 2x minus 5x is negative 7x. So our factored form is 2x minus 5 times x minus 1. Notice that we want For the most part, the strategies I've showed you here will work. However, once we start working with coefficients that aren't prime, you'll have more options you'll have to sort through, as well as if we have fractional factors, there will be more options to sort through. Thankfully, those will start becoming obvious, but we're going to focus on the examples that work here to start.